Hello and welcome. My name is Mark Savin, and today I will be demonstrating my alarm clock to you. So first things first, when I hit run on my laptop, my code starts running and it shows 12:30. So one thing I want to mention is that instead of making the minute change every 60 seconds, I've decided to change it every 30 seconds just for the sake of the demonstration. And the next thing you're looking at is the date. So I've configured my clock to change to the date, which is today of recording this is April 4th, 2020. And so the date shows up every 10 seconds on the minute. And then the time changes to 12:31. And again, if we wait, you can see the date will change again. The date will appear again like that, and it'll change to 04:04. And then it'll go back to, and then it'll change to the next minute eventually. So the next thing I want to show is this button, this user button. This allows me to change the time on the clock. So I can essentially change the time by just pressing the user button. Now, if I wait 2 seconds and press again, then I change it to the minute hand. So simply waiting 2 seconds and then pressing the button again allows me to change either the hour or minute hand. So that's how I change that. And so the next thing I want to show is how this potentiometer works, and how it works with my user button. So the potentiometer is only really useful when my when my clock goes into alarm mode. So because of the current pandemic, I wasn't able to get all the materials required. So in order to simulate an alarm clock, I've decided to flash the LEDs on and off. And so you'll see that in a moment. And so what I'm trying to explain here is depending on how much this potentiometer is rotated, whether it's rotated all the way clockwise, halfway, or all the way counterclockwise, it'll give a different functionality to this button when in alarm mode. So if I have my potentiometer turned all the way clockwise, then this will give this button the functionality of snooze. So when I double press it, then the LEDs will stop flashing for the remainder of the minute, and in the next minute they'll flash on and off again, because the snooze was only meant to stop the alarm temporarily, and in this case I've set it to be only a minute. And if I turn my potentiometer halfway, this essentially means like I can't change the time on the clock while in snooze mode while the LEDs are flashing on and off. This button's going to be rendered completely useless. And when in alarm, and then when I turn my potentiometer all the way counterclockwise, then I can shut off my alarm by double pressing this button. So to get started, I will set the alarm. I've already set it to be 7:15, so I'm going to set it to 7:15. Wait 2 seconds. Now I have control of this, and you'll see. And so now, because the potentiometer is in a halfway point, no matter how much I press this button, the time can't change, and even the time is changing on there. So now, if I want to snooze this, I turn this all the way clockwise, and then I can snooze it by double pressing the user button. See, and now it's in 7:15, it's been snoozed, but in the next minute when it changes to 7:16, it's going to go on and off again. It's going to go on and off. But now if I change my potentiometer and turn it all the way counterclockwise, so now when I double press it, 7:16, so in the next minute when it turns to 7:17, it's no longer going to be flashing on and off. So I apologize, but if you bear with me for the next couple of seconds, you'll see the time change back to 7:17, but the LEDs will no longer be flashing, indicating that the alarm has been shut off. And so it's been shut off, and now if I change my potentiometer back to about the halfway point, I now again have full control of changing the time by pressing it this way, waiting 2 seconds, and going this way. And so yeah, so that was essentially my presentation. Thank you so much for listening. Just a really quick overview. I used a SysTick handler to change the seconds on the clock. I used the event handler for the button, and I used the potentiometer code to enable the different functionalities of changing the button when in alarm mode. So thank you so much for listening.